This is John Jensen. And I think the distinction you're trying to make is whether or not we apply certain laws, Soldiers and Sailors Relief Act. If somebody's on active duty, they're afforded certain rights. We have to take this into account in all areas of custody actions and property actions and support and all of those kinds of things for somebody who is currently serving in the military service. I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to get at or not. I was a member of the National Guard for 14 years. I'm technically retired a serviceman, and I was on active duty for a period of time. But I suspect that may be the issue you're trying to get at. And as Shell mentioned, we always have to look at the current life situation of the individual. If somebody is currently on military duty, they may be subject to being called at various hours. Their schedule may be different. They may be deployed. They may be stationed in another place. They may have to go to other bases at certain times. I play golf with a group of individuals that are retired and some active out at Nellis Air Force Base most Saturdays, and sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not because they have duties they have to fulfill. Most of them all have children, so you have to look at all of those things that would impact their life situation, the lives of their children, and if we're looking at an ex-spouse, or in some cases they're not married, we're just looking at children and the mother of their children. You have to look at those factors when making these decisions as to the children, support of the children, and exchanges and custody and visitation issues.
This is Carl Piazza. I think what Shell said, I think what John said, and I'm pretty sure what Terry is going to say are all a part and parcel of your question. And I have the privilege of sitting as an alternate hearing master in child support court, truancy court, and discovery court. One of the things that I notice quite frequently, especially in child support court, today's economy, and a lot of the individuals that are required and have the obligation of paying child support are unemployed. They begin losing, they begin falling behind and create arrearages in child support. Generally, the district attorney's office, on behalf of the other former spouse, will bring an action to collect that child support and to assess arrearages. It seems to me that as I sit on that bench, I don't give an individual who's lost his job or has been reduced to a menial job with a significant drop in income, I give him or her no incentive whatsoever if I figure out what the arrearages are, what the current support are, and then the district attorney's office adds penalty and interest to those arrearages. And sometimes, as we've all experienced, those arrearages can be pretty substantial, into the thousands and thousands of dollars. Same situation exists when someone appears in front of me and says, "But Judge, the child's 3 years old. I just found out I had a child." Well, we understand that that's sort of a disability. Unfortunately, the way the law works, you're still responsible for those 3 years. But I try to give the individual some incentive by maintaining the current child support obligation. And then once I assess the arrearages, I ask the state to waive any penalty and interest, and I try to make that payment a payment, but something not so substantial that it gives him no incentive to try to keep up. We just keep falling further and further behind, and at some point, he throws his hands up in the air and says, "The hell with this, I can't make this payment, I can't eat, I can't pay my rent, I'm living on the street." That certainly doesn't do him any good, doesn't do the child any good. But all of these are factors in every walk of society. With veterans, we've got 7,000 carpenters out of work, half the iron workers are out of work, their membership has dropped by 2,500. We can go on with the statistics, and the statistics are fed to us. I'm not at all certain that they're accurate in how dire the economy is, but everyone in this room, everyone listening, certainly feels that the stress of the economy. The veterans are important because they have certain benefits that have been granted to them and well, they should have been. They've defended this country. They've allowed everyone in every walk of life to go forward and enjoy everything this great country has. And if you travel, whether it's extensively or limitedly, and I've been fortunate to do that, every time I get back to U.S. soil and I step off an airplane, I look skyward and say, thank you, God, and thanks, Mom and Dad, that you came from this place. There's things that our society just can't imagine that I've seen that are so heartbreaking. This whole process of divorce is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking where someone puts their life on the line for this country and for the people in this room and everyone else, and they're disrespected when they come back here. Each one of those individuals are a hero. How many people, well, perhaps not this route, but let's go out on the street corner and stop car after car and ask how many of those people have put their life on the line. How many of those people are willing to put their life on the line right this moment? I think we'd be shocked by the answer. But veterans, as other classes, hold a special place and should in our admiration. And there are benefits available. And again, I go back to the tools that help a judge and a court make decisions that hopefully will be more right than wrong.